Yeah, starting on that, thanks for inviting me on stage. GM, everyone. I'm going to try to do my best and talk to you about what I believe would be the talent ecosystem by 2049 and what I think will come with the rise of belief capital. I'm Pedro. I'm the CEO at Talent Protocol. I'm from Lisbon. I've background computer science. I've been building in HR technology for more than 10 years. Talent Protocol is my fourth startup, the third one in HR tech space. Why HR tech? I really love, like, my personal goal is to keep building in this space because I feel that building tools that give purpose and increase productivity of people are the best tools. So that's why I love building in this space. And look, coming into this talk, and I love this topic about the future of work, we could be hours, days talking about this, believe me. Maybe we'd reach some consensus, so I did all the heavy lifting for you guys. I come up with what I think are the three most important highlights of work today, of talent today. So three things that I think are fundamental. First one, younger generations being like super tech savvy, and also causes driven. I'm not saying the older generations like millennials and older than that are not, but I just see like this new younger gens just rallying around specific topics like climate change. Well, you can imagine why. Some other things are more certain, like the aging population. I mean, we can take that for granted in many regions of the world. Europe, China, Japan, just to mention a few. And last but not least, I mean, we have a packed room. I think we are all privileged being in Lisbon. So for us, Web3 and crypto is more of an opportunity, but if we were in other regions where we cannot really trust institutions, let's just say for the sake of an example, Venezuela, I mean, crypto and Web3 would be more of a need for you, not an opportunity. So I think that's where we are. I picked these three insights as a leverage for the next thing. And this, guys, so this is just an estimate, it's a perspective exercise. So probably we're going to be dead wrong, but indulge me the pleasure of taking a shot here. And I think we're going to watch three major changes. One is the death of universities and learning, or centralized learning as we know it. I think that's going to change. We're going to enter a new collaborative, human, open phase of learning. We're already seeing some glimpses of this, and I think it's just going to blow out of proportion, just going all in, probably before 2049. The second one, and coupled with the aging population, is obviously the end of manual work. This sounds pretty obvious, obviously coupled with a rise of intelligence, AI, obviously I have to say AI. If no one said AI, we would not be in a proper meetup. I think this is going to push us to go for creative work, and especially around causes we believe in. And the last one, this is the one that means more for me. I think the economic value system of talent hasn't changed much for the past centuries, even before the Industrial Revolution. It has been revenue-driven, employer-driven, shareholder-driven. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't believe that's going to be the future. I think we're going to move from a revenue only to a more balanced revenue and ownership model. I feel that in the future world, we will not have, or we will have a new social contract and infrastructure where we'll stop having employers and employees. Everyone becomes a talent, collaborates with each other, has multi-threaded careers, and it's totally fine, and that brings more value to our community together. Last but not least, I think we need, this is my most bold phrase here today, will be potentially we will have to be okay with being unemployed in 2049. I think that would not be something bad. It would be something actually cherished and good. Obviously not in I think we're too biased to thinking about it like that, but I think it's going to happen, something like that. Now, more down to earth and about Talent Protocol and our contribution to 2049. So Look, our mission is very simple. We're helping the next generation of builders achieve success, especially those entering Web3. We do this by improving their visibility to the space, by helping them building their products and building meaningful connections, and hopefully improving or increasing their self-confidence. There's a bunch of PFPs here because we actually launched our Talent Mates NFT collection recently. Maybe Nunu in the future. They can be used for lending as well on Zarta. And I'm not saying this because I'm an early investor in Zarta, but I truly believe that it could be, there's value to it. I'm just putting this here because this is the group of core contributors building Talent Protocol. We're doing this open source, obviously, building in the open. You can go on Notion, watch everything we do every day. And we're doing this in a decentralized manner. So if you go on my Talent Protocol profile, you see one of my career goals is to step down as CEO until 2025. And I hope this team and the rest of the contributors help me get there. If we can do it sooner, I would appreciate it, because being on a CEO position has a lot of pressure. So yeah, these are some of the partners that helped us get to where we are right now. Just highlight a few of them. Alliance, for me, is the best accelerator in the Web3 space by far. We're part of their community. We were lucky to be selected some cohorts ago. Protocol Labs, these guys have been massive partners for us. They led our last round, and I just cannot speak highly enough of them. And I know we're still not on Gnosis chain. We're multi-chain on Celo and Polygon. Maybe we can change that in the future, but we can talk about it later. All right, now more into what we're building. Look, I'll tell you the story how we started. 1 year ago, we essentially launched a DeFi app for you to invest into talent. You would do this through a staking smart contract that was initially deployed on Celo and later on Polygon. And essentially, when you do that, you would have some leverage on that person's careers in order to support them for growth. This would be an emotional, a social, and also a financial leverage. We did this because we also created a native token called TAL, and that's how we started. It was an amazing experience. We had like a super massive increase in TVL, but then the war started, things started cooling down, and we realized one interesting fact, which is, investing into talent, everyone likes to brag about it. They believe in it. The belief capital is there. But, in a Maslow pyramid, is not exactly at the bottom. Okay? So when things started to go down south really fast, I'm talking about even before Luna crash last year, we saw a decrease in the amount of people investing into talent. And so we had to adapt. I think that's a startup. You have limited resources. You need to do several experiments with the little time that you have. So nowadays, on the right-hand side is how we're going. I'll explain a bit more about this. Before that, some bragging, right? So since last year, we have almost 160K users and almost 700K invested or staked in talent, which I think is cool. We have 3 layers that compose our product. I'll go by the last one, which is the base one, which is the protocol layer. Protocol layer essentially this sets the rule of the talent game. How the game gets played, and there's 3 baselines for this. One of them is the career data model. So essentially, this is your professional identity in Web3. This is represented by a .tel domain, which we're launching next week. And the parallel to this would be if you have a .lens profile, like that would be your social identity. We're building more of the professional identity. Besides that, we're also working very hard on career verification, obviously on chain. And there's 2 things there: past and present, so your journey, but also your future. So your career goals and proof of achievement on top of those career goals. Because we like to build thinking about the future. It's not by chance that I started with 2049 in this talk. Last but not least, career circles, this is how we started. So this last part of tokenization of talent is fundamental for us, is where we invested most of our resources so far. We even went as far as to purchase 3 months ago another startup building in the space, more in the social token space, so we acquired them. So that's a very fundamental component. It's almost like the baseline for everything, the way we started, but the way we're building as well. So the protocol layer is more like invisible for our community. I mean, we're building in public, but not everybody goes and checks the code and everything. On the application layer is more visible because that's where the utility is. Okay, so here, like, you have the beautiful profiles, they're modular, you know, you can launch your token, you have powerful search, you can get matched with other builders, you can set your career goals, you know, all the social features, status on those goals, commenting, all of that, sharing. And obviously, you cannot really build a talent ecosystem without the talent, so we have a powerful talent scouting mechanism there. And the last layer, which is our community layer, sometimes, you know, people think about talent protocol, they only realize this part, but there's all the REST application and the protocol layers. The community layer, you know, there's 3 things I want to highlight. So one of them is the talent challenge. So the best way for builders to progress in their careers is to build. I mean, ask any builder, any founder, that's going to be the answer. And to build together with other people. So we, together with our sponsors, we create these talent challenges for our community. Challenges are something in between a learn to build hackathon and more of a bounty system. So something in between this is challenges that the sponsors propose to the community and the community builds around them. But it can also go the other way. So the builders can propose to the sponsors and then build around them. So Gnosis, Zarta, other companies, you can be sponsors, propose your challenges. I know we are like in a freezing some companies, but every company, every startup, every DAO needs to build either way. So this is a good way to get it done. The second thing is our talent house. Talent house is, I hold it close to my heart because it's our scholarship program. We bring underprivileged talent from all over the world to attend their first Web3 hackathon or Web3 conference in real life. The next one is going to be in ETH Denver. If you're around and you want to beat our scholars there, just hit us up. We also do some cool events around the talent house, so it's always a nice opportunity to get out of the craziness of this event and meet some really cool people, and cool people joining the space as well. And the last one, I already mentioned the talent mates, but this is essentially our key to start building with us for our future DAO. And my last slide, call to action, obviously, so sponsors on stage. Come and talk to me, looking at you, Stefan. And if you want to contribute, we have a bunch of bounties that you can do. This is actually super aligned with what I mentioned about 2049. Look, we're trying to decentralize work in our team as well and make ourselves completely useless. And last but not least, build your beautiful Web3 resume, talentprotocol.com. Thank you very much, and let's do this.
Anyone has any questions?
Hello, yeah. Thank you for the presentation. And I have a question. Like, you somehow communicated with universities, for example, and on talent protocols, they can, for example, sign and have your university certificate, like master degree, as NFT token signed by the third-party authority.
Yeah, I think, like, if you didn't listen, I think it's related to certificates, and the way we're building it is to be inclusive. So we don't have to be the verifiers of journeys, of talent. So other entities could have a more institutional verification. That's totally fine. I mean, we integrate with POAPs, for instance. It's totally fine. You can show, like, you came to this event, you could showcase those in your profile. So we want to be, like, even though we want to do the verification of journeys, and also, more importantly, because we want to think about the future, the career goals and proof of achievement is totally fine. Even though I told you universities are going down, I think it's relevant to not only universities, but also employers and other institutions to verify talent as well. I think that's a powerful tool, not together with that to go with peer-to-peer verification and self-verification as well. I think the combination of the three is gonna kill LinkedIn bad data chaos.
Super nice. Do you have data on like how many were already successfully connected, for example, to DAOs or other organizations, and how many of those relationships were established?
Yeah, I think we like it's something we should have. We don't. The answer is no. But we have a lot of stories, so that's in the hundreds now.
Okay, cool.
I would just rather like to question your statement that AI will allow people to dedicate more time to creativity. I think if you look at like recent developments in AI, like ChatGPT, DALL-E, Midjourney 2, like AI really relies on training data to build a model, right? And like for art, we have like 2,000 years of training data available, while for more specialized jobs, there's not really much training data available, right? So it's like almost as if creativity is actually what AI does best due to the large amount of training data available. So just like questioning whether you know, based on DALL-E, you can get like a AI to build poems or rap songs for you. So like, I feel like creativity might actually be one of the more easy things for AIs to do. So just questioning your statement that AI will allow us to be more doing creative stuff in the future.
And I told you we could be talking about this for hours, if not days or months. And I also had to put AI in there. I was hoping for something like this to come out. First comment is creativity is not only about art. There's so much more to it. It can be about business building. And you've seen with the GPT all the things that have been done, like automatic newsletters, making money, this sort of thing. I was like blown away. My main point on that one was coupled with the aging population, and that we need to automatize a lot of processes that we take for granted. There's a reason why we're letting in a lot of people, like in Portugal, for instance. The low-paying jobs, low-wage jobs need people to come in. That's more on the automation side. I think there's merit in your comment. I don't think that's going to kill creativity. That also, just to send the question back, you know, what means being a human then? Because I think creativity, collaboration, communication, critical thinking, you know, those is usually called the 4 C's. Those are fundamental for what being a human is. And if I think AI will enhance some of those, if not all of those. But there's some legit points to what he just said. So I'm shutting you down, but I'm not at the same time.
I guess we can recap this in 2049 and see what's happened.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Pedro.